Hey, what is up, guys? Rules for Rebels coming back at you with episode 29 of Side Hustle Tuesdays. I think you guys are really going to like today's episode as it involves something many of you guys are already currently doing yourselves and something which many of you are on the waiting list to get started doing. So what is it? Amazon merch, also known as Merch by Amazon, Amazon's print-on-demand service. So for anyone who's been living under a rock and isn't familiar with merch, it's a print-on-demand service, which means you simply upload your designs and Amazon does the rest. They take the order, they print the shirt, they ship the shirt, they handle the customer service. You do nothing more than upload your design, sit back, and collect checks. It requires no investment, no risk, and no money. You can't really beat that. So this is a very fitting topic for today's video, as I personally have been going pretty heavy on merch lately. I recently maxed out my 100 designs, and I'm currently in the process of removing some garbage designs to free up some space so that I can put up some better designs that I've recently made. I think I've already hit the 100 shirt sales, but they haven't tiered me up yet to 500 yet, so I'm waiting on that to happen. It seems like they kind of tier people up in batches. So hopefully it happens soon. So, while my sales aren't anywhere near the hustler from today's story, I have noticed that by simply putting in work consistently and uploading shirts consistently, you will make money. I've been averaging between 8 and 15 shirt sales per week, which again isn't huge, but considering how passive this is and how easy it is, I can't really complain. So I'm starting to think about maybe doing some kind of t-shirt line or apparel line outside of Amazon merch. And funny enough, I actually got an email and a phone call the other day from Bella+Canvas. They took over the t-shirt printing for the premium shirts on Amazon from American Apparel, who recently went out of business. So I had a call with them, learned a lot about their company, a lot about their t-shirts. It's a pretty cool company. The shirts are made in the USA. They use a special cotton blend, which makes them soft and really nice. And if you check out their website, for any of you guys who like do your own screen printing or who actually like hold inventory in shirts and things like that, you might want to check them out. They got some cool like fashion designs coming out. There's one particular shirt that I really like. It's like a men's like rolled sleeve short sleeve t-shirt. And they're actually going to be sending me a bunch of merchandise out to try out and check out some of their different products. So I'll probably make a video about that, and I think hopefully we're going to do some kind of collaboration with them in the near future. If you haven't checked out their YouTube channel, check it out as well, as they're putting out a lot of content right now, and a lot of stuff relevant to anybody who wants to get into like the apparel or t-shirt industry. So I'll link to their channel in the description box below. So getting back to the story, we've talked in previous weeks about people utilizing Amazon's FBA or Fulfillment by Amazon program, which is where you send stuff into Amazon's warehouse and they pack and ship it for you. Some of these people are making as much as 6 figures per year. And while that program can also be lucrative, it typically costs you a lot of money to get started. You have to buy inventory. If you want a private label, you typically have to buy higher quantities of inventory. And it's a fairly complicated process from sourcing your inventory to getting it into Amazon FBA's warehouse and then trying to get sales or win a buybacks. And basically, at the end of the day, hopefully not getting stuck with your inventory. So today's story, as I alluded to, is also about Amazon, but it's about Amazon merch, which is not only simpler, but it also requires less time, no money, and zero risk. So today's story is about a former corporate employee from Ireland who made more than $50,000 last year selling t-shirts on Amazon merch. So 4 years ago, Elaine had a corporate job in Dublin, Ireland that is. She was dissatisfied with her work and her career and wanted to strike off on her own. So she initially started an app development company, which she later sold. She then wrote a book called The Escape Plan, and later went on to become a speaker and a consultant. Elaine definitely has had some previous successes, but she calls this particular hustle, the Amazon merch hustle, the easiest and the most fun business that she has ever run. What she really likes about it is there's no inventory, there's no cost, there's no customer service you have to deal with, and best of all, it's free. That's right, guys, there's literally zero risk. I mean, all you're investing is your time. If your shirts don't sell, you know, you're out the 5 minutes it took you to design a shirt. But once that shirt's on Amazon, as long as it makes at least one sale, because shirts that don't make at least one sale are removed after 90 days. But as long as your shirt makes at least one sale, and yes, you can buy one of your own shirts, it will stay up on Amazon forever, and you potentially have a passive and recurring income. And there's definitely a shot or a chance at making a truly significant income on here. The platform Merch by Amazon is Amazon's print-on-demand service. As most of you guys probably know, you simply upload a shirt. When it sells, Amazon collects a payment for you, so you don't have to set up payment processors. They print and ship the shirt, so you don't have to run around getting your shirts printed. You don't have to ship them. Amazon does everything. And in the instance of a refund, Amazon handles that as well. And I could be mistaken on this, so don't quote me on this, but I think that they don't even take your commission back on a return. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that. Very similar to the drop shipping of live Crickets hustle that we talked about, I think it was last week. You never have to touch these shirts. Now, this hustle started for Elaine back in February of 2016. Elaine started at the 25 tier, which means she was allowed to upload 25 shirts initially. Once she sold 25 shirts, she would then be tiered up to the 100 tier, where she can list 100 designs. And once she sells 100 shirts, she'll be tiered up to 500 shirts, and so forth and so on. So her first week, Elaine uploaded 25 shirts and wound up making a few sales. Her profits from the first week were $49.84. Not super impressive, but that's pretty good for your first week on and for 1 week, right? Some of you guys might have been on for months and not even made that many in sales. So she was pretty happy with this, and if you've made money on your own outside of a job, if you've made money with a side hustle, you can understand why. You get a great feeling, you get a great buzz when you create something out of nothing, and when you make money on your own that doesn't come from a paycheck. And in fact, she had zero costs, zero risk associated with this business, and that made it all the better. So this also suggested to Elaine that if she could make $50 with 25 designs, it's simply a question of publishing more designs. As we said in some previous videos where we talk about merch, at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. Big players in this space, like Glenn from Hustlers Hacks, they have thousands of designs. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Glenn from Hustlers Hacks to date has about 3,800 active designs on Amazon merch. So Elaine continued to refine her process. She got better at designing shirts. She was able to design them even faster. She began to get a better understanding of what designs would sell. And in December of 2016, she had her biggest month yet. She sold over $39,508 worth of shirts, and her net profit from that was $17,629. The best part, for the most part, that month she wasn't even working. She took a week off for Christmas to spend with family. She attended a business seminar for a couple days, and she even spent a couple weeks in Spain. And all while she, wasn't even working, wasn't even near the computer, she was earning income and actually had her best month ever. Now, December is a big retail month, so these numbers were a bit above normal. That's not really typical. But even in slower months, Elaine was making a pretty respectable income. About 10 months in, her merch sales totaled $128,295 in sales, and of that $128,000 and some change, her profit was over $53,000. Now, one challenge Elaine has faced is copycats. Kind of interesting, Amazon recently put up a statement on their website that they're going to start cracking down on copycats, and they basically warned sellers this month, the month of June 2017, to start policing themselves and removing any copycat designs. After June, Amazon themselves are going to take action and go through removing copycats, which could result in people who are copying designs having their accounts suspended. Now, how they plan to go about this, we'll have to wait to see, but supposedly this change is coming. Now, Elaine's strategy for combating copycats is a tip that I've given on this channel before, which is don't use the same brand name for all your shirts. The way Amazon works is you choose a brand, a title, bullet points, and a description. And while brands can be helpful in the sense that a buyer can click your brand and browse all your shirts, it also allows copycats to do the same thing. So Elaine typically comes up with a lot of different brands. This way, if a copycat does find her shirts and decide to steal her idea, at least they can only get one shirt or 2 shirts, 3 shirts. They're not going to have all her designs. They're really going to have to dig around to find them. So for any of you guys who don't know what copycats are or what they do, they're basically sellers who lack any creativity and don't want to work hard. So they go around copying other people's designs and re-uploading them to Amazon as their own. I think a lot of them probably use bots or programs that basically go around finding the hottest selling shirts, automatically download their designs, turn them into a clear background, and then re-upload that same design as their own. So by separating all her shirts with different brand names, she makes it a bit tougher for copycats to steal her designs. So what's the difference with this hustle, and why is Elaine successful? So the whole print-on-demand industry has been around for a while. I remember when I first got started trying to make money online years ago. We're talking 2008, 2010, 2012. Even way back then, the print-on-demand industry did exist. You had sites like Cafe Press and Zazzle, and the print-on-demand industry has kind of seen a resurgence over the past few years with the popularity of sites like Teespring and Printful and others. And I actually have another story coming up in the coming weeks about this very thing, using the print-on-demand industry to sell shirts. The difference, however, is that people who try to use Teespring or Cafe Press or Zazzle are rarely successful, and the reason for that is because there's no organic traffic. So what does that mean? As I've explained in the past, the reason merch is so awesome and the reason it's so powerful is because you do have that organic traffic. When someone tries to sell something on Teespring, they have to drive all the traffic there on their own. Nobody is browsing Teespring for t-shirts. You know, it's not like I'm going to go on Teespring and be like, hey, I want to get a cool weed shirt. Like, people just don't do that. However, people are browsing on Amazon for shirts, and not only that, but people are browsing on Amazon for all types of other things as well. And an example that I often give is if somebody is searching the keyword yoga, looking for, I don't know, say for example, a yoga mat, there's a chance that they stumble upon a merch seller's yoga shirt, and that's incredibly powerful. Now, in the grand scheme of things, if somebody searches yoga, are they likely to come upon your shirt? Most likely not. There's probably physical products and yoga mats and things like that that are going to outrank you. But my point is there is a possibility of somebody stumbling upon your shirt. And if you get reviews and get a good BSR score, you're going to show up higher, and you might actually get some of those organic sales. So merch sellers also get access to Amazon's organic searches from its over 200 million active buyers, and that's really, really incredibly powerful. Now, as with most things, they change over time, so it's important, like I said in a video the other day, to strike when the iron is hot. We just talked about that in a video the other week. I was saying I wish I would have got on merch earlier. Amazon has since, as many of you guys know, required an invitation. Now, an invitation is really nothing more than basically applying and asking to get on. But as many of you have discovered, the program has become so popular, wait times are anywhere from a few months to some people have been waiting over a year and still aren't on. There's also more sellers on there, which means there's more shirts for potential buyers to look at, which means there's more competition and it's going to be tougher to sell shirts. So anyhow, guys, that is today's story. I know this is probably not a new idea to a lot of you guys. Many of you guys are already merch sellers. Many more of you have applied and are waiting to get on, and many of you have probably heard me talk about it before. I can't encourage you guys enough to get on the platform and start making your mark. I only see it growing bigger. I see product selections expanding, and who knows, maybe at some point they'll close the program to new members permanently, and only those people who are on will ever be on, which is why I'm really encouraging you guys, if you haven't already, go apply today. At the end of the day, though, I know many of you guys are looking for a passive recurring income business and business models like that, as well as businesses that require little to no startup capital and very little risk. So if that's what you're looking for, I think this is probably one of the best businesses out there for you. No, I'm not saying you're going to make 17 grand a month, but if you can pick up even a small percentage of Elaine sales, that's going to be a pretty nice passive income every month. So that's it, guys. Until next time, rules for rebels with Side Hustle Tuesdays, signing off.